My phone rang 5:54 a.m. this morning and I was irritated. I thought two things. Who could be calling me at this hour in the morning that I don't know, because I opened my eyes and scanned the number. It wasn't somebody that I know. So I thought, who could be calling me at this hour of the morning that I do not know? And secondly, how did I forget to put my phone on Do Not Disturb, knowing very well that when this phone rings and wake me out of my sleep, I am going to have an headache all day, which is going to affect my work performance because I'm mentally just not able to presently be there trying to cope with my headache. And as I thought about this and I went through the motion of figuring out who it was, it turns out it was actually a business owner trying to establish a referral partnership. And I don't know, because I'm thinking 5:54 a.m. in the morning is not the time to do that, but also you never know what's going to happen in your day. But when I thought about this, the real idea that it put in my head was this was an inconvenience, because now I woke up before the time that I had scheduled. It interrupted my routine, my schedule, and now I have a headache. I cannot go back to sleep. I do need to sleep. And it's just not going how I want my morning to start, right? But the life that we desire is inconvenient. This is one example, and this inconvenience could have been avoided with me putting my phone on Do Not Disturb, to be honest. But what about the ones that we cannot avoid? What about the ones that are necessarily required in order for us to get to the next level? Right? We say we want the dream life and the success, and that is subjective for everybody. My definition of success is really the life that you desire, because the life that I may desire may not be what you desire, and vice versa. Right? But it's just this thinking about the processes of the life that you desire is going to require you to do inconvenient things, to feel inconvenient, to be inconvenienced, at least for the short term until you get there. When we talk about this in the financial aspect of things, it could be talking about the fact that you have to budget, right? I could literally find anything else to do with my time than create a budget, even though it doesn't take long. But it's not really convenient, because you don't want to be sitting down looking through your account, seeing where your money is going, and wondering what you should cut back if you are actually sticking to it, and what you should do to create a better outcome for your goals, right? I could literally find anything else to do other than checking my accounts every single day, or every week, or every month, right? But every time when I check my accounts, after I haven't checked it for a while, I realize something that shouldn't be there. And so that charge become an inconvenience to me. So that means I have to follow up with it and make sure that these inconveniences are spotted way quicker than later, right? It's very inconvenient to want something and not buy it right away. It's very inconvenient to literally put your needs, your desires on the back burner just because you want to achieve a certain level of freedom, just because you want to give yourself options. It's inconvenient for you to stick to the plan, even though everything within you is telling you that you should act in impulsivity, right? All of those things are inconvenient. But when I think about this, I think about when you look on a job description and you see requirements and then you see nice to haves, is the life that you desire and a requirement? These things are a requirement for that life, or is it a nice to have? Like, you have to put things into perspective, me as well, so that whenever there's an inconvenience that come up, it doesn't take you off your course mentally, because you already know that this is you're gonna have to work longer than you thought you would, and you're gonna have to be more intentional than you thought you would to get to that level that you actually say you want to get to, right? Everything that you do on this journey that you have had to sacrifice is going to pay off. You don't know how, And when you're looking at it short term, it's not always clear. You cannot see the full picture. You can't see around the corner. As one of my professors would always say, like, strategy is always being able to see around the corner. But sometimes you don't even know the next step. But at the same time, you know that because you really desire that for your future self, and even though you are not trying to live in the future, but you want to prepare for it so that it's not the same way that you are right now, is understanding that the version of you that is going to achieve those things is not the version that's here right now, because that version has to go through some things. It's going to become very uncomfortable, and you have to know that if it's worth it for you, you're going to have to push past it. When I go through my days and I am exhausted or I'm tired, or I would literally rather not sit in front of my camera and talk, not because I don't want to see you guys or not because I don't have a message to say, but because I have been stretched thin all day long, and the energy that I have, I just want to keep it so that I don't feel completely depleted. It's kind of an inconvenience for me to be doing it every day, because some days I don't want to in my natural feeling. But because I know that inconvenience is going to be the thing that gets me there, I have to do it, right? And you literally start in little ways until you build up the muscle to become more inconvenient in bigger ways. Because as you go, as you pass, it's basically like a stage in a game. As you are able to successfully be inconvenient in this area, then there comes a bigger inconvenience, then there comes a bigger inconvenience, and it keeps growing. But because you keep passing the stages, and because you are doing things along the way that are able to give you some energy, you are able to go past it. And some of those things are, like I mentioned in one of my previous videos, celebrating the small wins. You know, of course, you're not just going to be a robot and act like you don't have desires. So whenever you achieve something that you say you're going to do, whenever you go through that inconvenient process and you actually get the outcome that you desire, you give yourself something amazing that is within your budget, hopefully, but something that keeps you going and helps you to push forward and to not feel like you're just neglecting yourself 100%, right? So all of these things are not convenient, but it's going to get uncomfortable, and it's going to be just not the way that we want, at least for a period of time. And I'm just using financial examples, I'm using content creation, but this, you can put whatever you want to put into this video as your thing that is inconvenient. It could be literally anything, right? But you know what? As inconvenient as it is to pour into yourself, you know, especially when you leave your job in a day and you come home and you're tired and you just want to relax and to just do nothing else and give nothing else, it's inconvenient for you to spend at least 1 hour pouring into yourself, whether that's through your self-care and that's through your personal and skills development, learning a new skill, learning something new, instead of just sitting down and feeling like you don't have any control and you don't have any choice or option. It's inconvenient for you to input something into yourself after you've outputted the entire day. But that will always benefit you tenfold. And since on my channel I talk about all things investing in you, this is all the areas. It's not just preparing better finances. Of course, ultimately that's the goal, but it's also developing yourself, because when you develop yourself, you're developing areas in you that are going to be able to attract more money anyways. You're going to have skills that you can charge more for, and you're going to understand how to budget your money, so when that you get the money, it's not just all gone through the wind. So it's all the aspect of yourself that you're developing in the process. But I know you think it's easy for me to say this, but it's not. There's a lot of inconveniences that I have to push past every single day, and some days I don't want to push past them, if I'm being completely honest. But I understand that delayed gratification is one of the most underrated wealth tool. You have to be willing to put time between the thing that you want and you actually acting on it. is going to change your life. And even if it's inconvenient, convenience will stifle your growth. So you have to be willing to put yourself in some inconvenient position sometimes to really get to that level that you want to get to. Maybe that means starting with your finances. Maybe that means searching for a better, more aligned opportunity. Maybe that means talking to somebody and networking, even though you are an introvert like myself. But you just know that I need to get there. I need to set myself up for the life that I want. If I have to go through some inconvenience right now to get that done, I'm going to do it. Right? And I hope you don't get this message wrong. I'm not saying tolerate disrespect and just not speak up for yourself or things like that. I'm talking about the things that you just naturally avoid because they're just a little bit hard, not things that are things you should get out of, right? But just the things that are a little bit too hard and just a little bit too not want to deal with, those type of things. All right, so I don't know if you needed to hear this message, but it's been on my mind all day and I just wanted to come and share that you really have to just be willing to put your convenience aside sometimes to get to the life that you want. And even though it's going to feel out of bounds, but it's going to get you the results after being consistent over time. And it will pay off tenfold and you will be glad you did it. All right, so if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Khrista-Lee and I talk all things investing in you. If you're not new here, share this video with somebody else and let me know in the comments what inconvenience are you pushing past right now to get to that next level. Let's inspire the community and get this rolling, get more comfortable with dealing with these inconveniences as they come up. And give the video a thumbs up so that I can know that you actually like it. And yeah, share with a friend. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed. Follow me on all other social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Khrista-Lee. And I'll see you in the next one tomorrow. Bye. Let's go make some mistakes.